What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? Friday night. Just thought I'd pop on here and holler at y'all for a minute. Let me know where you are checking in from. Let me know where you're checking in from. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Y'all can hear me, right? For a minute. Y'all can hear me, right? Y'all can hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me know where y'all checking in from. Let me know where y'all checking from. Let me know if y'all can hear me. All right, real quick, I just wanted to jump on for a minute. I just want to talk about some trucking investments. I know this is not a regular night that I jump on, but I've been sick these past couple days and I've been sitting in the house bored. And this is something that I was going to talk about on a later date, but I said, I'll hop on a Friday night, not really expecting a lot of people. Don't really care because there's always, the replay. People will catch it on the replay. I'm not never been one that was really concerned with how many viewers are on the live. I really don't care about that type of stuff. I'm here to just put the information out. People can take the information with it and do what they may. Ebony Henderson in the building from Chicago. It's DeWalt. I thought you was about to play us. It said, see you next Sunday. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Told you I'm sick, man, so I ain't feeling too good, man. So I'm a little discombobulated. But that's why I'm on, man. I've been sitting in the crib all day, bored. So I said, let me just jump on. I was finna watch BMF, but I'll watch that later. Let me just hop on and talk this, get this little information out that has been on my mind, especially after that live stream from yesterday. Even though it started with some technical difficulties, it actually turned out to be a pretty good, informative live. And like I said, the replay, it tripled in replay, so it's doing really well. The engagement is there, so I was glad that I was able to give that information. QB jumped in. That was a pleasant surprise. I finally got a chance to talk to him. Sounds like from what I gathered from talking to him yesterday, real intelligent young brother, and just picking at his brain and see where he's at. Because I always talk about the young generation, Generation Z, and he is Generation Z. Even though he is an exception because he's a very hard worker, from what I gather from watching the content. Being a Generation Z uh, uh, um, person, he admitted to that generation being lazy because of technology and things of that nature. So because of that, made me want to push this particular content that I'm talking about tonight up, because I was planning to talk about this at a later date, but I said, I ain't doing nothing. I could push it out. I got plenty of content. I got plenty of things up here in the brain, so I don't have to save anything. But I want people to focus and think about, this box trucking business that they're in, and create some type of plan for the future. Everything that happened over the course of the past 2 years, got to leave that in the past. So the beautiful thing about now is I feel like me being on this platform now, it's a great time because it's a reset that I can kind of help people set them up for more success in the future. And one of the ways I think people can set themselves up for success in the future, especially with like financial freedom, all right, is in being an early adopter as far as investing into uh, uh, certain areas, right? Certain industries where technology is on the very early stages, but it's rapidly uh, uh, advancing, and being an early adopter as far as investing, so when things do ramp up, you've invested in the early stages at a lower cost, and when those costs start to rise, you'll be able to pull your profits out. And depending on how much money you invest, you may set yourself up uh, uh, for early retirement. So let's talk about box trucking. I'm not gonna hold you guys too long tonight. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and just talk real quick. So I appreciate the few people that are in here. I'm not really expecting a large crowd because this wasn't promoted. It was just a pop up, and it is Friday night. Everybody's probably out clubbing and at the bars and with they boo bay and whatever else. His explanation was logical. Let me pull this out the way. His explanation was logical on his generation. Yeah, it was logical. Built my Excel cost per mile today. RG Flicks. Also, you watched the live yesterday. Appreciate it. Good. Yeah, if you built you a Excel cost per mile, then that's good. You know, a lot of people aren't savvy with Excel. So if you're able to build you an Excel spreadsheet to save you, from paying a subscription to like QuickBooks or something like that, then that's good as well. So this bipolar weather, yeah, it's supposed to be 40 degrees tomorrow. So, I don't know. I've been in the crib for 2 days. I may not come out tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yes, it's kind of weird here. I heard it's icy down, like in Dallas. They shut Dallas down. It's icy down there, for things that we wouldn't shut down up here for. But, they're not used to that stuff. So like down there is weird weather. Up here, we having unseasonably warm weather. It's negative 22 one day and then it's 40 degrees the next day. It's weird. So I don't know what these people is up there doing, playing around in outer space, the ozone layer. I don't know, global warming, whatever it is. I don't know, but they definitely messing with something because it's weird. So yeah, I want to talk about investments. All right. So I've mentioned this before. I'm not going to hold you guys. I think the trucking industry is like box trucking, just trucking in general. I think there are a lot of advancements on the horizon. And I think, if you really want to make some money, I think now is the time to take advantage of some of these situations by being an early adopter. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so let me put that disclaimer out there right now. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling anybody to go out and invest all their money into certain things. But I will tell you that being an early adopter on something is really good. I talk about how AI is going to revolutionize the trucking industry as far as like freight brokering. And you're already seeing it with Convoy. You're seeing it with Uber Freight, right? You're also seeing it with RXO just released a digital load board. Eventually, you're going to see more digital load boards on the horizon. A lot of your big freight brokerage firms like C.H. Robinson, eventually, if they haven't already, if they don't have something that's already in the works to go digital, they're eventually going to have something in the works going digital. But I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar that they have a firm building them out a digital platform as we speak. Basically like what we were talking about yesterday, this younger generation, we need the younger generation to fulfill a lot of these jobs that the older generations are exiting, and they're just not doing it. So technology is going to have to take the place, all right, and replace, these humans that are not fulfilling these jobs. And here's the thing, like starting off with like the digital load boards, I think that's going to be a good thing for carriers, all right, because carriers are going to be able to get paid more. It's going to make the process a lot more seamless. It's going to make the process a lot more efficient. So a lot of the complaining that a lot of, truckers, box truckers, whatever, complain about brokers as far as ripping them off and things of that nature, you're not going to have to deal with that anymore. The artificial intelligence is going to handle all that for you. You're not going to have to deal with a human. Artificial intelligence, you'll be able to book those loads, yes, no, or do a counter. And then even if you counter a load, let's say, it's already going to have something in that. The AI is going to already be able to compute a certain amount that they're willing to pay out, right? And then, you're not going to have to deal with a human at all right? So we already see some signs of that, like I said, with RXO, Convoy, Uber Freight. So investing into AI technology, and I'm really fascinated with AI technology. I'm really fascinated with it Chat GPT. I've been playing around. I was one of the lucky people that got a chance to get in early and play around with that, and I'm amazed with it. I'm really excited about it, and I've been investing heavily into AI. I've been investing in the Fetch AI, and a lot of different AI technologies. Another thing that I want to talk about, as far as box truckers are concerned, like I've mentioned before, a lot of you guys, that are running these loads for these companies, especially you Amazon guys, you should be owning a piece of that company. All right. You should be owning a piece of that company. I'm very vocal about Amazon. I've always been very vocal about Amazon because I own a piece of Amazon. All right. I don't run Amazon, but I own a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? When it split, I own prior to the split, I own now, I bought back in. All right. So that's why I've been very vocal on it because I own Amazon. I feel like if you run Amazon, I feel like you should own it too, especially you guys that have been running it for years. You guys should have been in on that split. Now is a good time to buy in. Even if you're running for a logistics company, there's plenty publicly traded logistics companies. All right. If you're running for a logistics company, there's nothing wrong with double dipping. You should own a piece of the company that you're running for. Double dip. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? RXO, when I did a video a couple months ago about XPO, and I told you guys about the RXO split, right? And I said, yo, get you some shares, and guess what? They gifted share for share of RXO for every XPO share that you earn. They gave you share for share of RXO for free. That was free money. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that semi-autonomous trucks are going to come into play. I know a lot of people are doubting it, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to be. I've been on this earth long enough, right, to see technology advance and to see big box retailers and big companies that didn't believe in technology 20 years ago, watch them get pushed out of business. All right. A lot of people laughed at Peter Thiel, all right, Elon Musk, all right, and all these guys in the 90s during the .com bubble when these guys were coding and building out a lot of the things that you guys use today. They didn't believe that this stuff would become what we know it is today. You know what I'm saying? But look, now you got all these guys that sell on these boards for years and years and years and years and years just get washed out just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I believe technology is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the trucking industry. It's going to have to be. You see what I'm saying? For every 6 boomers that are coming out of trucking, and I've said this over and over and over again, only 2 Generation Zs are filling those seats. All right. Trucking is the backbone of America. We need trucks. Trucking isn't going anywhere. All right. Trucking isn't going anywhere. So if people aren't going to fill those seats, right, technology is going to have to, take over. Right. So being an early adopter and investing into these technology companies that are building out the autonomy for these trucks, I think now is the right time to invest in these companies, be an early adopter, because once these trucks start rolling out and the media coverage, the media starts covering it a lot more, is when people are going to start flooding into investing. So you want to be an early adopter while the prices are low, right? So when the media starts covering this, as you see these things starting to roll out and it becomes popular, you're already being early so that when it does rise up and you do have that run up, because with every new technology, there's always a bubble. All right. There's always going to be a bubble. There's always going to be hype. So when the hype comes around, that's the time where you want to exit out majority of your shares if you decide to do that, right? Because it's going to pop. We've seen it with the .com bubble. We saw it with the EV bubble 2 years ago. I was in on that EV bubble. I made that money. All right. But I knew that a lot of those companies that I was invested in, that I was an early adopter and invested into some of those companies very, very early, I knew that a lot of those rates, a lot of those prices, when it rose up, I knew those were inflated prices. Some of these companies, like Lucid, is out now, but I was invested into Lucid before the merger, before the SPAC deal, when it was CCIV. You see what I'm saying? And I bought in at that at $18, and it went up to $60, and they hadn't even produced a vehicle yet. So I knew, because I'm smart, like, yo, there's no way this asset should be this much, and there's not even a vehicle on the road. So I knew it was a bubble, and I exited out, and sure enough, it came crashing down. All right, so we haven't seen a bubble as far as autonomy when it comes to like semi-autonomous and fully autonomous vehicles. I'm speaking from a trucking aspect. Speaking like Waymo. I'm speaking like Kodiak. All right, I'm speaking on these particular companies. So I think now is the right time to invest into these companies and build an asset portfolio or a trucking asset portfolio, so that, you know, when this does come, you'll be an early adopter. You'll be in early, and you'll be able to reap the benefits from that. Listen, I'm telling you, you don't want to be in a truck forever. All right, so you do want to, you know, kind of create some type of a plan where, if you know, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 20-year plan, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So you do want to build some type of asset portfolio. It doesn't have to necessarily be in trucking, but since this is a trucking platform, I'm going to always give you knowledge based on trucking. I could talk about real estate, you know what I'm saying? I could talk about other things. I'm heavily invested into other assets, but I try not to, you know, stray the channel away from what the purpose of the channel is. You know what I'm saying? So even though the sentiment is down on the space, I'm still gonna stick to the space. You know what I'm saying? I'll just tell you about things that maybe everybody else is not talking about, but that I'm doing in the space outside of, you know, YouTube. And I'm heavily invested in to semi, you know, autonomy. You know, Kodiak Robotics. Waymo is Google. So Google, I never played with Google, but because of Waymo, I'm investing into it because I believe that, you know, JB Hunt, you know, they're working on something with JB Hunt, and a few other companies I'm probably going to cover at a later time. I just wanted to come on here tonight, and while it was fresh on my mind, and just give you guys something to think about. You know, a lot of you guys that are making money, you know, I believe in banks, but I really don't mess with banks. I don't mess with banks because I feel like my money is just sitting there. It's not doing me any good. The bank is coming out better on my money than I am. You know, they're giving me not even pennies, right, for my money, and they're using my money to loan people money at higher interest rates. They're buying commercial property with my money. They're buying homes with my money. You know what I'm saying? They're making more money off my money than me. All right. So I look at my money, you know what I'm saying? Each dollar is a soldier. I'd rather push my money out to go recruit more soldiers and bring it back in. So I send my money out. It's not doing me no good in the bank. All right. So if I see, you know, I can get in on something early, right, and be an early adopter or something, then that's what I want to do. And I think the trucking industry is going to go through a bubble. As far as technology is going to go through an AI bubble, and it's going to have an autonomy bubble, semi-autonomous and fully autonomous. Not so much fully autonomous. I think that's a long time coming, but semi-autonomous sooner than we think. And AI is already here. All right, AI is already here. We already got some big major players that already have artificial intelligence load board. The brokers' days are doomed. Their days are coming to an end sooner than you guys think. And the other big boys are already, I'm 100% sure they already have people building them out, platforms to go digital as well, as far as artificial intelligence. So be an early adopter, you know, let your money work for you, you know, send your money out to recruit more money. Treat your money like soldiers. Each dollar is a soldier. Send them out there to recruit more soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something I wanted to talk about. What are you talking about in here, Axel? Go and be some bubbles on heads. I keep mine trucking the backbone, but carrier drivers got no balls. What do you mean carriers and drivers have no balls? Owner ops need to start being men and put these brokers down in the dirt. I think the brokers' days are numbered, Axel. I think artificial intelligence is, what I've seen with like Chat GPT, what I've seen with Uber Freight, RXO, Convoy. I think all the major brokers are going to eventually, sooner than later, convert over to AI, and it's not going to be a need for brokers anymore. So you're going to be negotiating with artificial intelligence sooner than later. So the brokers' days are numbered. I wouldn't really worry about the brokers too much. Hoffa time, man. You're never gonna see the days of Jimmy Hoffa and trucking. Those days are long gone, and that's why what I'm talking about. And this is a good example of early adopters. A lot of people probably weren't born during the Jimmy Hoffa days, but that was an early adoption, a great example of early adoption. What happens in the past is in the past. It was the wild, wild west days of trucking. All right. We're never going to see those days of trucking again. All right. Same thing with this box truck thing, final mile. When I got in, as far as like e-commerce, when I was doing final mile in the early 2010s, it's a different ball game now. Back then, if you didn't show up for a load, you just didn't show up for a load. Now, if you don't show up for a load, they charge you for that load. You see what I'm saying? It's a different ball game. Back then, e-commerce was on the rise. A lot of these third-party logistics companies, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, they were still trying to figure it out. As e-commerce grew, these third-party logistics companies, final mile, in-home delivery, as far as what we know it is today, it was really new. The only in-home delivery we knew prior to that was if you went to Sears or you went to Montgomery Ward's and you bought a stove or you bought a refrigerator, and they would do the delivery and the install for you. And this is before they outsourced to third-party logistics companies to handle that stuff for them. Sears had their own fleet of trucks, and they had their own employees that did this work before they outsourced. Once e-commerce came on, the internet, people buying things online, the boom of that e-commerce was the 2010s. So as these companies started having to source third-party logistics companies to handle the final mile delivery of the things they sold online, I remember it. All right, it was the wild, wild west. None of these companies knew what the hell they were doing. They were paying listen, if I tell you how much money we were making, what they were paying us back then compared to now, you wouldn't believe me, because they were so hung up on just keeping these accounts, but they hadn't figured out a system to handle the rising volume, because e-commerce, it was new, right? But it was growing very rapidly. And now these third-party logistics companies have systems in place. They understand it a lot more. But when I first started, they really didn't understand it. This is why I had certain accounts, right? And certain logistics companies would lose them. I followed IKEA. When I had IKEA, I followed it to 3 different companies in a span of 2 years. Dynamics, Urban Express, and XPO. In the span of a year and a half, I followed it to 3 companies. Dynamics lost it. I had to follow it and apply with Urban Express. Urban Express got bought out by XPO. That year, XPO bought so many companies. All right, so early adoption. I was an early adopter in the e-commerce boom, right? For final mile. So I was able to capitalize, and there's no way you're making $500 a route, $600 on a weekend to deliver IKEA furniture now, and we would get one stop. I'm running 3 trucks. It would be one stop per truck. I still got that guarantee. So $1,500, right, to do 3 deliveries, one stop on each truck. There's no way they're going to do that now. So, it's a different ballgame, but that's a great example as well as being an early adopter. So I'm saying now, because technology is gonna replace humans in certain aspects, a good way to be an early adopter and capitalize and make money is investing into some of this technology, taking some of that money that you're making on the truck and investing it into this technology for the long play, And even though it's a long play, that long play I'm saying is only a matter of probably less than 5 years. All right, we're in a bear market now, but I guarantee we'll be in a bull market come 2024, 2025. We'll be back in a bull market. And as soon as you see more of these semi-autonomous trucks hitting the road, that's when the media is going to start covering it. That's when the frenzy is going to start. That's when all the people who buy into hype are going to start putting money in. All your big VC funds, BlackRock and all those companies are going to start dumping money in. It's going to go up, and then the smart people will start taking profits, right, and moving that money and sending it out to the next thing to invest in to make more money. All right. So this is me knowing what I know. I'm just passing the information along. Webull Robinhood is good for beginners. Yeah, Webull Robinhood is good for beginners. Interstate Screw, what's going on? Do you have any platforms for the stocks where we can get started? Yeah, you can, like as the walk said, Robinhood is a good place to start. It's easier than Webull. It's a little bit more Robinhood is a little bit more user friendly than Webull. Just, I'm not, telling you what to invest in. I'm just speaking from a general purpose. Just make sure if you do decide to invest into, assets in regards to trucking, that you do your due diligence, and just make sure you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure that you do leverage your portfolio. Make sure you leverage your portfolio diversify. I'm sorry. Make sure you diversify your portfolio very, very well. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about real estate right now. I got to get out of my real estate mind and get into my investment mind. So make sure you diversify your portfolio very, very well. And just do a lot of due diligence in the companies that you want to buy a piece of. And just diversify. As long as you diversify well, you'll be okay. You'll come out ahead. Urban and Bold, what up? TD Ameritrade is a good one. Yeah, I got all of them. I don't use all of them all the time. Sometimes I do. Depends on how heavily invested I am. But yeah, I got all of them. And then there's, as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, that's another thing. I'm heavily I'm investing in the Fetch AI. Every day I invest 25% of daily earnings between Fetch AI and Gala on the crypto side. I'm a heavy believer in Gala and Fetch AI. I'm really just fascinated with artificial intelligence. If you guys get a chance to go mess with ChatGPT, if you can get in there. I was one of the people that was lucky enough to get in there early and get access to it. I'm telling you, like, it's amazing, man. Like, this thing can just, like, you can say, yo, I got to do a paper on global warming. Can you write me a 5-page essay? Type that in and it will write you a 5-page essay. So, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm really amazed with ChatGPT. Like, man, this is amazing technology. And I just feel like I'm just excited because I know I'm going to make a lot of money. I know I'm going to do what I did in 2020 with EV. You know what I'm saying? I made a lot of money with EV, and I know autonomy, and I know AI is the next best thing. It's the next bubble, and it's going to burst. Everything has a bubble and everything bursts. The housing market had a bubble. When everybody was buying those houses at those inflated rates during the 2000s, that bubble burst. The banks were doing what they were doing. They had a big part to do it with those loans, but it was a bubble. You had the crypto bubble. You had the .com bubble. We're gonna have a AI bubble. All right, we're on the brink and horizon of an AI bubble, and we're going to have an autonomy bubble. And I just think people need to take advantage of those situations. Do you do consulting for trucking and real estate? No, just trucking, not real estate. I'm not a real estate, I don't consider myself a real estate like influencer guy type of guy. I actually have a buddy who's a lot more heavily invested in real estate than me, and we're working on building him out a channel and getting him set up. But when he does, then he's here in Chicago too. I'll forward that information. But I just stick to trucking. I have property, but I'm not. Real estate is not my first thing. It's in there. It's part of my asset portfolio, but I'm not heavily invested. Like this guy I'm talking about, he got like 12, 13 properties, like all 8, 9, 10 units. I'm not that deep in real estate to consider myself a person who would be out, to put myself in a position where I feel like I'm qualified enough to consult on real estate. No, I just have some asset properties and that's it. I'm not a person who could consult someone for real estate. I use Chat Daily to generate emails. That's what's up, Brian. That's what's up. Use the technology. If the technology is there, and if you have access to the technology, use it. It's unfortunately, the technology is going to continue to, increase humans' laziness, right? But if it's there, use it. I mean, I'll be 43 this month, so I done had my days of hard work and labor building companies and doing all type of stuff in my 20s and 30s, so I can kick back now and chill, and I still got a thought of what it took for me to get to the point where I can chill and kick back, you know what I'm saying? So utilize it, you know what I'm saying? The younger generation, it's like a gift and a curse for them though, because technology is moving so fast, they're never going to have a chance to really understand what hard work is like, because it's like they're instantly, just everything is just given to them. They can just, they don't know what it's like to even have to go to like the library to study for a research paper and microfilm and the card catalog and Encyclopedia Britannica, World Book Encyclopedia, have to pull the encyclopedia and read whatever it is they're doing a research paper on and read it and then write a paper in their own words. They can, there's technology out there like Grammarly and things like that to, not prevent, but to help educators spot plagiarism. But with like Chat GPT, you could just probably simply tell it like, yo, I need to write a 5-page paper on let's say global warming. Please write the paper for me and don't plagiarize any sources. Put it in words that aren't plagiarized, and it'll do it for you. So this technology, man, you gotta invest in it early so you can make the money out of it. Like, listen, you can make a lot of money out of trucking without being in the actual truck if you know what you're doing and if you know how to invest wisely. You know what I'm saying? So take a little of that money that you're making from these companies and buy a piece of that company that you're running for. All right. You don't have, when you're working for a company and they got you on the payroll, right? They'll give you stock options. They'll remind you when they call you in, when you doing your benefits and stuff like that. But when you're your own owner operator, it's your responsibility to set yourself up for the future. And that's another thing I don't see a lot of people talk about. I don't see people, like, even when I ask them what their expenses are, no one ever says taxes. No one ever says, health benefits. No one ever says their RIs, you know what I'm saying? Their retirement plans. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. I never hear this stuff. I hear my truck rental, my fuel, my insurance, and then I made this, and then that's what I made. They don't, and that what they think they made, right? And they ain't paid their taxes, they ain't paid themselves, they haven't cash flowed the business, right? They take that money, they spend it. And then when something happens, they don't got no money to cover whatever it is that happened. Truck break down, malfunction, whatever. And then they drive this truck, drive this truck from week to week, just like working at a job, working check to check, right? And then when it's all said and done, there's nothing to show for it. There's nothing to show for it. All right, so the responsibility is yours as an owner operator to and invest in things and to set up investments for the future. Zupchuck, what's going on, man? Thank you for checking in. It's free. Why not? Exactly. It's free. Take advantage of this. Take advantage of it. My friend said he ain't paying his taxes and to take it out of the reparations that are owed to us. Listen, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. We got those reparations. When we got it with the PPP and the idle. That's what they looking at as reparations. And guess what? Not everybody gonna get caught. Some people gonna get away, and then they gonna say, "Well, there go your reparations." Listen, I get it. I understand. But if we keep waiting on something, time gonna continue to go on and pass and pass and pass and pass and pass and pass. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So if it happens, it happens. But in the meantime, I'm not gonna be waiting on no handout. I gotta go get it. And I'm always looking for ways to go get it. All right. So I get it. But you know what? Homie, whoever your friend is, hopefully people don't come knocking on this door. You know what I'm saying? Because they come knocking and he telling them reparations, they ain't gonna want to hear none of that. They ain't gonna want to hear none of that. So it don't even matter. You might as well pay them folks and go on about his business. They ain't want to hear that. Let me see. Axel, what's up? Oh, you want to come on the link? I didn't even see that. I ain't gonna be on here too long, guys. I'm gonna hit this NyQuil. I'm gonna knock out. So I just wanted to jump on and rap with y'all real quick. I'm always looking for ways to get it, man. Always look for ways to get it, man. It's easy ways. Listen, I don't want to say it's easy ways to make money, but it's ways to make money without doing a lot of work. But you got to put yourself in that situation. You know what I'm saying? You got to work early. You know what I'm saying? Someone told me, actually about an hour ago, it was making fun of me. But I'm like, yo, the reason why it may seem like I don't do much is because I did a lot in my 20s and 30s to put myself in this situation. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot to put myself in this situation. And when I saw spikes and I knew I was having runs in different businesses, right? I recognized those runs and I did what I was supposed to do at the time. There's a lot of people that are in businesses and they don't know how to recognize their takeoff stage as far as the 5 stages of growth. And when you are having that, you need to recognize that it's going on and start positioning yourself for the future, because nothing lasts forever, guys. Nothing lasts forever. Especially now, technology is advancing. It's advancing at a rapid pace. So you gotta recognize your run and do what you gotta do and set yourself up for the future. Hear you.
How's this sound good?
We hear you. Sounds good.
Mark.
Uh oh.
Listen, it's out of control out here, man.
What are you talking about?
In the expedite side, it's totally out of control. This is my 4th year, and I'm gonna tell you, this is the worst year. There's brokers. Actually, I have a friend. He's a carrier. I got a little echo coming back. He bid on a load, and the broker said, "Are you crazy? You're too expensive." And the load, it was moving for 50 cents a mile. And he told me, he says, "What am I supposed to tell this broker?" I said, "Tell him to go F himself." 50 cents?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs to like start pushing back. I'm telling you, there's some dirty, nasty stuff going on right now. The owner ops gotta stop dealing with the brokers that are bad. That's number one. And when you see these brokers, 5 or 6 of them post the same load, bid with the 2 or 3 guys that you have a good relationship with. These, and I'm talking about the expedite side, not, and some deal with the large straight trucks. But Millhouse and all these other guys, Millhouse, man, they're a garbage company. And that double brokering shit they do, everyone's got to speak up. Don't be scared to tell these guys off. And I'm saying this to all the brokers. I mean, all the drivers. But 50, 60 cents, you cannot operate your van or your truck for no damn 50 cents.
Those are all the foreigners, though,
Impossible.
Axel. Those are all the
No,
foreigners,
no, no,
Axel.
no, no. I would agree with you if it was 2 years ago. Now it's everybody. It's everybody. It's anybody new that got into this industry. You had that young black kid on the other night. Man, I liked him. He was sharp.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to start telling people he's smart. He's young. He's thinking for himself.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of uneducated idiots out here because they never wanted to learn the right way. And who they're operating with, you know, a lot of us, we started with carriers. We learned little by little, you know. But these brokers are going to take advantage of you. Not because they want to suck that extra money, but because these guys are bidding low. All everybody has to do is push the prices up.
Well,
The shippers have the money. Go ahead.
Axel, what you gotta understand is you're going through what I went through a few years ago, but you're going through it a little bit later. All right, so there's a generation gap. All right, this younger generation that's coming in, they're not doing due diligence. The young guy that I had on yesterday, you gotta understand why he's a little bit smarter as a Generation Z baby is because he grew up in trucking because his father's been in trucking, so he grew up around it. All right. Now, the younger generation, they don't take the time to learn. They just jump into something and they go. So of course they're going to take these rates because they don't know any better because they haven't taken the time to do the due diligence and really study, and they don't have anyone mentoring them because everyone's charging $20 and $50 and $30,000, and this is the result of what's going on. So I know you're upset and you're frustrated, but the only thing you're going to be able to do to curve it is to be more vocal about it and start mentoring some of these young guys.
But that's what we got to spread. Everybody's got to start asking, but ask the right people. I think it was last night you even said on the show, one of you guys brought up about somebody's in the trucking business, but then they're selling courses after they've been in the trucking business 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's a giant red flag.
Mm.
I see a lot of these expediters out here. They haven't even had their authority. If they even, some of them don't even have authority.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably tell you out of all these owner-op expeditors out here, I'm in the top 10% that's lasted the longest out here.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know something, ask me, and I'm going to tell you straight. You might not like what I have to say, but I'm going to tell you straight. And that's what people got to know. You got to know the right people to ask.
So are these guys that you're complaining about, are they young? Are they older guys? Because if they're young guys, then we know why this is happening.
Yeah, no, I think it's a mix.
So they're not young,
Actually,
and they're not foreign.
no, it's a good mix. I don't think there's that many foreign playing in the vans and the smaller box trucks right now. A lot of them have moved up to the 26-foots or the semis.
Okay.
The older guys that I see doing it are actually the older white guys that are like dinosaurs, that they don't care. I've seen guys say, "Hey, I'll take 70 cents. They keep me busy." What do you mean they'll keep you busy? You're letting that carrier take 30 to 60 cents from you, not to mention what the broker took. I know a young Arabic kid. I know when he started, I even explained to him how to set his authority up and to save on his insurance. He took a load up in Connecticut cheap for
Okay.
like $400. I forget where it was going. He goes to pick up from a doctor at a hospital, and he was bitching about Landstar. He says, "Man, they charge us $900 for this load." He said, "Nine? I only got four." And he took the customer from Landstar. Whenever he goes up to Connecticut, he calls the guy. He's taking 3 loads right now. If that's what it's got to come down to, take their customers away from them. Take them away. That's what they deserve. Because if the drivers, I'm not saying do it to the good brokers you do business with, do it to the crappy ones. Take their customers away from them. But do not back solicit the good people you're dealing with. If you know there's a crappy broker, book a load with him and take that customer from him. Because a lot of times they're double brokered anyways.
I think artificial intelligence is going to curb this problem that you're talking about.
It is, but I think you and me will be in our grave
I don't think so.
when it fully affects.
I think it's sooner than you expect. I'm talking about in the next couple years.
I don't know, because a lot of the smaller shipping companies, they're going to be able to afford. They're going to be charging for all that AI and here, put our system in and this and that. And then everybody's going to jump in. They're going to chop it up. This guy, like the ELDs, you got so many ELD companies. You got so many tracking companies. You go to carry a load and you got to have 5, 6 tracking apps on your phone. This is crazy.
I mean, it's just the way of the future. But I think I hear your frustration because every time we talk, you complain about the same thing. So I know how bad it's frustrating you, but I really think artificial intelligence is going to curb that problem for you.
I might be a little bit frustrated about this. I'm 90% more frustrated because people don't learn and don't teach year after year. And I just see it just continues, and it continues, and it continues. You guys started this podcast talking about the trucks and stuff. You guys are getting it together a little bit. I like that. Mm-hmm. There's a couple other knuckleheads, but I don't, if it comes to it, I'll mention their names. But, I like your style, too. You don't mention names. But I mention names in Expedite because a lot of us is different. We know each other, and we know a lot of the companies. Mm-hmm. But when a broker sits there and tells a carrier, who is a very good carrier, and he tells them, are you crazy? I think that's what he said. Are you crazy? You bid too much. Mm-hmm. He says, how much is the load? It's like 50 cents. Mm-hmm. And the guy calls me. He says, what do I tell this guy? Tell him F off. You don't want to deal with that kind of broker. They'll always be like that. Like here, I'll put this out there. There's a broker out there. Mm-hmm. I can go back 4 years ago when I worked on another guy's under his MC. I always tried to get loads from this company. Mm-hmm. I keep getting echo back. And they would never answer. And then finally the lady answers one day. She goes, "Oh, we don't let that MC have any loads. We don't like his attitude or something." Okay. What about when I get my MC? Yeah, if you get your MC. A year later, I have my MC. I try to bid again. Oh, you got to have your own Selectus. Okay. 6 months later, I have my own Selectus. To this day, I've never hauled one load for them. Because even during the good times, they'd still want to pay 60 cents. Mm. And this other carrier told me today, he goes, "Hey, what's up with this?" They're called Express Family. Even today, he sent me an email. He said, "How can I get in your family?" He said they didn't even respond. I said they don't even respond to the loads unless you offer 60 cents. And what we have to do is, you got to start putting these names out here. They get worried when you spread their name. Brokers do not like to be talked about. But people have to show, hey, look, they offer me 60-cent load. Hey, they offer me 50-cent load. Hey, I got the 26-foot box truck. They want me to do it for $1.20 a mile. Just like everyone picks on TQL, I don't know why we only pick on TQL. Let's pick on all of them. Let's give them all hell. They deserve hell.
So, I'm trying to figure out how, because I know this really frustrates you, but I just got to keep reiterating, man. I think artificial intelligence is going to fix that problem. I'm going to be honest with you, Axel. I just think that, the issue that's going on as far as what you're talking about, I just don't I'm a realist. I'm gonna be completely honest. I just don't see people taking and doing the due diligence to do that. They're just getting these trucks, they're getting these vans, and they're just getting out there and doing the work. All right, they're doing the work, and this is why you see the sentiment the way it is. People aren't happy. People are losing money because they don't know what the hell they're doing. That's why I had to do a whole live on cost per mile and paying yourself because people don't know how to do these things. You see what I'm saying? So if people don't know how to pay themselves, right? If they don't know what it's costing them to run, obviously this is why they're taking these loads at these rates because they don't know what the hell they're doing. All right. So these people first need to understand business.
But you remember how I mentioned the other night? You got people that should be drivers and people that should be business owners. And you got to come to realization. Either you want to be the worker bee or you want to be the king bee. Not everybody can be a king bee and lead. You can make money just being a driver, but go with a good company. Not everyone's going to know how to run the business, pay the taxes. You can teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Some are teachable, some aren't. And that's in any business.
Right.
You know?
But we're not in that culture. There's a whole culture now that has been created by social media, by rappers and things, this boss culture. Everyone frowns upon work. If people wanted to work, I would still have 14, 15 trucks running. All right. No one wants to work. People want to be their own boss. All right. They feel like if you can do it, I can do it. And now they have the resources, right, to do it. They can get the capital now to do it. All right. And this is just the culture. Yes, I 100% agree with you. All right. I 100% agree with you. I 100%, I 1000% agree with you. Not everyone is cut out to be a business owner. All right. But you can't tell these guys that. You can't tell them that. You can't. All right? You can't tell them that. They don't want to hear nothing. They ain't trying to hear nothing. These young kids out here, these young boys, they don't want to hear nothing. All right? I realized that a year and a half ago. That's why I threw my hands up in the air. You can't mentor them. You can't tell them nothing. They ain't trying to hear nothing. In any aspect, you talking to them about trucking, you talking about life, you talking about opportunity, you talking about getting their life together for the future, anything. They're not trying to hear none of that. So it's an unfortunate situation, and I know what you're going through because I had to go through that realization period myself. But I really don't think it's going to get better. It's going to have to take some type of I think technology is going to come in and really change it, and I think artificial intelligence is going to solve that problem with the brokers. I really do. It's just going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, but as long as people keep having access to capital to start their business, then you're going to continue to see these same issues, man. It's a different ball game now. People are scamming to come up with the money to start businesses. They're not working hard, saving money, saving money, taking the money that they save and starting their business, and then they're really, doing the due diligence because the money that they're investing into starting this business, they really had to work and slave for it. No, they just cracking cars and doing whatever they got to do to get the truck or get the van or sending someone into a rental space, a hype or a club, and then rent a van, and then they running off with it. This is what's going on right now.
Yeah. The best thing everybody can do is stop with all the nonsense and the division. Stop listening to the freaking government and all this other bullshit. I don't care what color you are, what age you are. Everybody needs to work together and be like an American and push and build everything. If the other guy, if he's talking and you don't want to talk to him because he seems like a smart ass or he knows more than you, don't take it negatively. Just approach him and say, hey, can we talk? Everybody's different in every culture and every age, but everybody can learn different things from different people. And if everybody take the time to listen and learn, you can do a lot together. I was in the military. We function as a unit. If you don't function as a unit, you're all garbage. And that's what they teach you. So in trucking, if you're in the 26-footer, you're running regular OTR freight or you're running Amazon, group with those guys how you can make things better, what works the best, and tell them, don't do this because of this. Do this because this is better. Learn your group and your people. Whatever business you're in, learn your people and
Mm-hmm.
work to make it better for everybody. I think there's too much division in the country with everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I don't care what country it is, what color you are, all the governments are all crooked and they're all doing the same stuff. I'm not one of those conspiracy theorist guys who ain't going that way. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying people are people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in business and we're in trucking, you
Mm-hmm.
need to learn as much as you can. Even if you're in the 26-foot truck, learn the vans. You don't have to learn the semis. That's a whole
Mm-hmm.
nother big animal. I don't even want to know about them. But learn as much as you can to make your business as much as you can make. But do
Right.
it the right way and try not to limit yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but work together. I see a lot of times, and I think you guys kind of mentioned a little bit too. A lot of people bring up that black and white. I don't bring that bullshit up. I've been around black people my whole life. I served with them. I went to school with them. So
Yeah, I
that
can
shit don't
tell.
fly with me. Yeah, and it's just everybody's got to work together.
I mean,
Work together.
well, I don't think we bring up black and white. Not on my channel. But I bring up more generational division than I do, and it's not really even division. It's just it's just a mindset thing. I think, and I really, I'm being honest with you. I really hear your
Yeah.
frustration, and the reason why I empathize with you is because the way you are now is how I was in 2021, and I had to make a decision, right? And and I think eventually you're gonna have to make that same decision. I'm not gonna sit up here now and tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to come to some type of decision that you're gonna have to make. I seriously believe that everything you're saying it's gonna be hard for it to go back to the way those glory days that you once saw and that you wanted to go back to. I just don't. Nothing ever goes back. All right, you have to figure out a way to push forward. It's not gonna get any better. It's probably gonna get worse. All right, you know what I'm saying? Because it's you got people that are entering that are not business people. They're not business people. Everybody is a boss now. Everybody is an entrepreneur. You go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, everybody is promoting LLC, start your own business, boss, 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 boss. You look at everybody's profile, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. This is the culture now.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone wants to give themselves titles.
Titles and they're actually going out starting these businesses, but they don't have the mind frame of a real business person. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to go to school, and I'm not saying you got to go to college. I went to school. I have a degree in business. All right. But you don't have to go to school to have a degree in business. It's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing, and I don't think a lot of people that are in business now that are starting business aren't business people. They're not business savvy. They don't have business acumen. All right, they're too easily distracted by bullshit and things of that nature. They're not living, dreaming, shitting business. When I was starting out, everything revolved around business. Everything. Even still to this point. All right. These people aren't. They're not. All right. So it's unfortunate, but I think you're going to continue to have this frustration. I don't think things are going to ever get back to the way they were. They're just not.
Even last night, I think when you did the show about when you're cent per mile and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you got to go back one more step, I think, because a lot of people are getting in the industry too, but they're coming with a lot of debt and a lot of bills from home. Because I had a driver owner op one time, but they had 3 other car payments at home. I said, why do you need 4 vehicles? There's only 2 of you. So You have all these vehicles you got to pay for every month besides your mortgage, your
Mm-hmm.
insurance on all the vehicles. You got to limit some of this debt. You want to jump in the truck or the van
Mm-hmm.
to pay for all this debt. Just get rid of that stuff.
But
I
that's
had a
going.
girl, she had all her credit cards maxed out.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much distractions and materialistic things that these people want, and with the whole boss culture, you gotta you gotta make yourself look like a boss and feel like a boss. So you gotta go get the boss car, you gotta go get the boss condo, you gotta go get the boss clothes, and you're right, they put themselves in this debt. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling you, I don't think it's gonna change. All right, you got people that are robbing Peter to pay Paul. Right? They're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Right? Especially a younger generation. They got listen. I don't know, you don't know what I'm talking about when I say it. I'm looking at kids wearing $1,000 sneakers. Kids, high school kids going to school with Dior and Balenciaga. You know, we weren't wearing $1,000 sneakers when I was in high school. $100 pair of Jordans was a lot to ask for. You know what I'm saying? So, the younger generation, they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. All right. So when you speaking about running for cheap freight and doing all this stuff, yeah, they're gonna take whatever they can get their hands on. They're gonna take whatever they can get their hands on. So that's what I'm saying. Like, man,
But
don't
somehow we got to
don't run
show
your
them you
blood
can't.
pressure up thinking it's gonna go back to the way it was.
But somehow we got to show them there's no way you can run vans and trucks for 50 cents and a dollar. There's no way.
They not
You
trying to hear
can't.
nothing, Axel. I hear what you said. I've tried it.
I mean, there's no teaching that you can't do it. I don't know how you're operating. I showed the other guy the other day because he's got new van payments there. He's got nice Mercedes. I figured
Mhm.
out to a T. It costs him 78 cents a mile. 78 cents a mile for his van, and he's taking 85-cent loads. I said, bro, you're making 7 cents a mile. That's what you're making off that van.
They don't
Well, now
understand
you told me
business.
like that.
Yeah, but see, they don't know how to break down the numbers. They don't understand margin. They don't understand cost per mile. They don't understand none of that.
But the other problem is, though, they're scared. I don't know if they're scared to push back. I tell these brokers, and I've told them before, and I've won, and they've called me back. You got to let them know that this is this and this is that. You want to do business or you don't want to do business. Move to the next one. Because a lot of them get the same loads. They're dealing with the same shippers. It's a big world, but it's small. The load I picked up last night to bring down here to Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
the shipper's friend used to date my sister.
Okay.
I said, damn, small world, but it's a small world. A lot of people know each other. In the freight game, don't think of this world as being like one state because these brokers are all over.
Right.
And if you and another thing is the bad carriers. Because I'm sitting with another guy the other day, he had to go take a load onto a military base because the driver had a record.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess supposedly the carrier told him, don't worry about it, you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then to come find out, the driver don't even have a driver's license. So what kind of carrier is putting these people behind the wheel? You want to know why? I know why. Because they're going to take that driver and do whatever they want to him.
Well, yeah, I mean, people take advantage of novice all the time. You know,
Yeah.
they're gonna take advantage of a novice. But I mean, you're gonna have to make that decision, Axel. Man, don't run your blood pressure up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm half Greek, half town. We run the blood pressure up,
Yeah,
That's
you
why
can't.
I stay single. They can't handle me.
You can't get mad, but you just gotta. I can't tell you what to do, but you're gonna have to figure something out, man. You can't, because every day you're upset, man, and it's not gonna get any
I'm gonna
better,
start
man.
sprinkling nails. I'm gonna go to Home Depot. I'm gonna get roofing nails. I'm gonna start sprinkling them out like confetti. That's what I'm gonna start doing.
Man, you can't.
Tom Axel did it.
You can't stop everybody. There's too many of them out there. There's too many of them
Yeah,
out
you
there,
can't
man.
stop everybody, but we can make some noise. You gotta make some noise.
You definitely making some noise. You know, you're welcome to come on my channel anytime. I know you're on Kirk's channel, so I mean, you,
It's like therapy to me.
yeah, I see. You know, but but man, man, nothing stays the same forever, Axel. You know what I'm saying? I had to realize that myself too. You know, so I had my glory days,
We
and
we just need to have it like women be women, guys be guys, but I need the guys to flex their balls a little bit more. I mean, come on, we got a Chinese balloon flying across the United States like it's a kite. We don't even have no balls in the
what's
company
up with
to
that?
go knock the
Somebody,
damn thing down.
what's up with that? What do you think? Somebody told me that was the Chinese government spying on us. What do you think? I'm curious to know
Yeah,
what
I
you
think
think.
it's a spy balloon. It's a
From
spy
what
balloon.
country?
I thought it China, and I thought I heard it's manned too. I don't know if that's true.
All right, so why did? Because if it was flying over Pennsylvania, and I know
And
the,
it came through. No, it came through Canada.
but it was in
You know,
Pennsylvania though, right?
Canada. I don't know. It went through Canada, and then I heard it was through Montana. I don't know where the thing is now.
Okay, so if it was in Pennsylvania, the Pentagon is in Pennsylvania, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Why did they
No,
shoot the damn thing down?
hey, I don't know. That's good because I don't know if Trump would have been there. I tell everyone I could see Trump tell him, "Hey, fire up the helicopter, hand me the 50 cal, and you take me, and I'm gonna shoot it down." Because I don't know if it's so easy for them to just let a balloon float across their country. What's going on with this country? And that's why I said even with trucking, you gotta stand up. I got no. Hey, you can tell your viewers they want. Send me the proof what the brokers are doing, and I'll be glad to blast them. I'll call them live on the show and ask them. Because
Why
a
don't
lot of
you?
times it's not the broker, it's the agents.
Why don't you ever go live on your channel?
You know, you're getting me
Your,
up there.
your channel is like
I've been.
my channel is like your channel now.
No. But are you gonna come on my channel when I have it?
Yeah, I'll come on your channel. But I mean, you're welcome over here anytime. I enjoy talking with you. I enjoy talking with anybody that's tenured and knowledgeable in the space. But I don't want you to get all riled up, man. I think you're going through the same thing I went through a year and a half ago, and I want you to understand that nothing stays the same forever, man. The glory days are over. We're not gonna see those days anymore. We're not.
That's for everything. That's not even just trucking. That's for everything.
Right, for everything. So I think you can't get upset. You know what I'm saying? But you bring a lot of value here because there's a lot of people that will learn from your knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you're a little bit more vocal, I think you would get through some people. But I seriously think you want to change the whole trucking world, and that's just not gonna happen, Axel. You know what I'm saying? I hate to be the one to tell you, man. It ain't gonna.
No, I'm not trying to change the whole trucking thing. I'm just trying to fire it up a little bit, because if we can at least balance it out a little bit, and I'm not even talking about the whole trucking industry, more or less the expedite. I like the expedite side. I like the vans and the small box trucks and zoom around and go wherever. And like even now, I'm 8 hours probably from home. If I want to go home, I can go to Hill Home, say screw everything. But I'm gonna sit over here in Tennessee and stare at the trees.
Where you at a
But what
truck
I'm
stop?
saying is, yeah, I'm hanging out at this nice Love's over here
Okay.
with 6 pieces of chicken for $20. I
Oh
gotta take
wow.
out a loan now just to get dinner.
No, you don't.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just everything is up, and that's we've run into guys out here before in the vans, and they're starving. No joke, starving. My friend last year ran into a girl that was making I think 200 or 300 a week, and he asked her, "Why don't you just go home?" She said, "I got rid of my home. I live in the van," but she drives someone else's vans. He goes, "How do you eat?" She goes, "Well, I try to maybe a little can of beans or something." He said, "This is crazy." He said, "I took her into Denny's and bought her dinner." She works for Bolt. I don't know if she's still there or not.
That's
And
how.
I see guys sometimes, they'll
That's.
refer companies. I'll
Hmm.
speak up against them because I know a lot of things they do.
That's how
Even,
y'all living out
Load
there.
One.
That's how y'all
Huh?
living out
Some
there
of
in
them,
that expedite
some of
side.
them, yes. Some of them, yes, 100%. Even a lot of guys say go to load one. I got the other day a screenshot from inside their talk group from the load one drivers. There was a black girl that put a dispatcher on Front Street. Said this guy, I forget exactly how it was. Somebody, he's a cheap ass penny pincher, and look at these loads he's sending me. Now, load one is supposed to be like the top expedite company, okay?
Right.
And they're sending her 73-cent a mile loads, and she's an owner operator. Because they're thieves too. And I tell them straight they're thieves. You know? Nobody should move a van. I don't care. Even if you're owner operator, you gotta have at least $1. Do not move the van. I mean, if every once in a while you gotta move for 90 cents emergency, maybe 200 miles or something, but you don't take it 1,700, 2,000 miles, because the broker's pocketing 500, 600. When you run these certain lanes enough times, you know how much these loads move for. Somebody today, I think it was 190 miles, and they did it for like $150. This is crazy to me. I flip out, no joke. I flip out, and I talk crazy to some of these brokers. And they need it. They need it.
I think once again, I think that the issue that you're having, I think AI is going to solve it. You just gotta be patient. You gotta be
Well, the
patient.
AI is another problem. I got some I'm working on. I think I mentioned there's 14 companies are on Selectus, and they're all gonna get put out into the sunlight. Because what they're doing is really crazy. I think it can almost be organized crime. And I'm going to put them all out on Front Street with what they're doing. I sent another company in the other day, and they even told me, yeah, we've been getting complaints about this company. I said, yeah, look what they're doing. And you guys are letting it happen. Or you guys are blind, you don't see what's happening, but you need to fix it. I'm not paying $400 some a month so someone else can have it for free. You know, one company will get it, and they're giving it to 20 other people. You're dummies, first of all, because you're losing out on all that money. You should be charging those people. So tighten up your security system. And not only they're doing Selectus, they're doing a DAT and truck stop board too. Any owner operator that's bidding on loads and it's been around for a couple years,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to notice there's been a difference. There's some funny stuff going on. And it's because of it's kind of like AI. I'll say it's kind of like AI.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are building apps and all this crazy stuff, but they're not getting it. They're purging off other systems.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So they're cloning apps. So basically, what they're doing is
Yeah.
they're cloning apps, and they're building out apps, cloning other apps, and they're able to pull loads to their app for people to book them, so they can. It's like double brokering.
So it's 100% double broken. So
Yeah,
example,
I know what that is.
they're on Selectus. You're a member on Selectus, and you're giving permission for this company to connect. You're not allowed to do that per the contract. First off. Second of all, I call the broker. I give him the list of 14. He says 3 of them we got them blocked for double brokering. He says I didn't know there was this many of them though. I said they're all doing the same thing through the same company. And I
Well,
said, is it double brokering? He said 100% because they're taking our load, and most of them are carriers, and they're posting it on the app. And then the driver is bidding on that load. The driver's not supposed to be bidding on the load because they're not getting it from the broker. They're getting it from the carrier.
well, if Selectus is giving these people access to their source code, if they have open source code, and these
No, no, no.
guys have
I don't know. No, it doesn't work like that. I don't want to say right now because I want to break the story. It's
Okay.
way simpler than that.
Okay.
And Selectus knows. I told them. I sent them a lot. I told them this one is coming to you in video format because I'm going to send it to them, and I'm sending it to as many expedite brokers as I know in the industry. There's going to be one mass email blast, so they're forced to do something about it. Because that's usually when Selectus takes action, when you bring everyone else into the fold.
When are you gonna break
But,
this story?
Huh?
When are you gonna break this story?
Man, can you find me like somebody to do video editing and stuff? Because I just don't got the patience for it.
Man, just get on there and
I,
tell the people the information. If it's
I know I gotta
information,
load up all. Yeah, I gotta load up the PDFs and stuff. It can't come from my mouth solely. I have to show the forms, the paper, the apps, the corporations, and it goes all the way back to Russia. They all want to talk about Russian collusion before. I'll show you Russian collusion.
Russian
You know,
collusion. So what are you
I
saying?
mean,
This
when
is
you
some
got
organized. You saying this some organized crime type stuff?
it's one company that's making all these apps for these other companies. One company, they're all linked.
The brokerage firm apps, right?
That has nothing to do with the broker. There's no broker involved. That's why it's crazy.
Well, I want to see this. Then I'm curious.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna get it together. They ain't gonna, and there's even one bigger expedite company on there. I don't even know if they realize what they're doing. I mean, even the sign-ups. I looked at one of the sign-ups. You're a van guy. All you need is 90,000 insurance and no mention of cargo.
Hmm.
That's crazy. No wonder the guys are taking loads for so cheap. They don't even have to pay no damn insurance. But what they don't realize, they get in a wreck with that load, they're coming for you. You're going to be responsible. If you own anything, they're going to take it from you. I know you were talking the other night about having the LLC and all this.
Yeah.
Man, they will find a way to pierce that corporate veil and clean you out.
Yeah, it was a young lady saying she wanted to do a sole proprietorship, and I was trying to explain to her, and she told me I was wrong. And this is what I'm saying. Whatever. But yeah, you know, I mean, they can try to pierce that corporate veil, but if you got an LLC and you got a corporation protecting you, you got the right legal team, then they can try. Like, I've been sued, my business been sued, and yeah, they gonna try to go around that corporation. They done tried to play and deal, put liens on property and stuff, but it can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you ain't got the right people representing you, then yeah, they gonna try to pull it. You know what I'm saying? They'll try to pull it. You know what I'm saying?
The
So
best way is to have another corporation that's just a corporation to hold stuff. Don't want to
a
have it
hold
attached to
a
your
holding
company or
company,
whatever.
a holding company,
Yeah.
a holding company. That's why I separate everything. You know what I'm saying? I separate everything. You know,
Yeah.
so if one thing falls, it doesn't fall under the same umbrella. So excuse me, but yeah,
Yeah,
man, you.
nobody should. I mean, consulting. I can see someone charging. Time is time.
Mm-hmm.
It, I don't do it. But if someone wants to spend 5 hours a day with me, and I got 5 people a week, it's 25 hours out of the week you got to waste. I can see consulting. Okay, it's time. You're working. You're giving your knowledge. But these
Right.
courses, and you were talking last night, what, $3,000 course? I like. Please find those people and get them live on the show. I'd love to hear their stupidity for paying somebody $3,000 for how to run a box truck.
Oh, you want the
Because I
people who
missed out.
paid the money, or you want the people who charged the money?
Both. Let's hear from the crooks and the other people.
I don't want to talk to either one of them. I talked to enough people that
I,
spent the money last year, and the people that charge that type of money, they not gonna come talk to me. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
no, I mean,
But if anybody who's listening should not be paying for any courses. You want to go pay for a course? Go take a golf course lesson. Because that takes a little bit more skill. I don't play golf. I hate golf. I'm just saying.
I
But
think
box truck, van, if you don't get in and drive it and learn the business, you had somebody last night, I think, they asked you about they're buying a van, but they don't want to drive it. Just tell
yeah,
them to turn in the keys. How you gonna run? How you gonna put a driver and run it? You don't even know what to do with the van.
but that goes back to what I was telling you 20, 30 minutes ago. The boss culture, streams of income, and this this boss culture that has been sold to people over the past few years. Certain things you can invest into, and make it a stream of income, things of that nature. But this is no longer an industry that you can do that. But everyone is so riled up in creating multiple streams of income, and I get it. You know, the cost of living now is very, very, very expensive. You have to have multiple streams of income in order to just be comfortable and enjoy life. But you know, this is not something I believe that a person can enter into without having some type of hands-on experience nowadays, because the cost of entry is just so high. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have some type of experience now. You know, you have to have some type of experience, and you have to have someone holding your hand and walking you um through it. So yeah, I you know, I agree with you, but you know, this boss culture has been embedded into people's brains, and everyone just thinks that they're a boss. You got women on Instagram selling eyelashes and waist trainers and the liquor pouches and plates of food and all this goofball stuff. Everybody think they a boss. So it is what it is. That's what I'm telling you, man. Don't get your blood
Let's
pressure.
be honest though. That's mostly the sisters doing that.
It ain't no, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. There it is, some sisters, but you know, it's some, you know, you got, you know, some other nationalities that's pushing it. You know, I see some little
Yeah.
white Russian girls that's the one that got the BBLs.
Okay.
There's a
Yeah.
little white
You
Russian
got
girl that
you.
I follow that got a BBL, and she dating a big black dude. You dig what I'm saying? And she got a BBL, and she's pushing something, some type of bikini line or something like that. But you know, everybody, you know, wants to be a boss, and everybody is looking for that overnight success, and everybody thinks they can become a millionaire the next Black Friday, Cyber Money, pushing whatever little product that they bought off Alibaba, and they got them a drop ship Shopify store. This is just what people think they can do now, and no one is interested in getting a job. And this boss culture
Even
is just pushed on people, and they think they're bosses, and they're just not bosses. That's what I'm telling you, man. Don't
even
get
the
your
young guy
blood
you hit
pressure
on
up.
last night, he brought up something about I think one of his friends or something talking about it's time to party or do this or do that. And the younger guys got to realize, listen, if your friends don't work and they're not doing anything, just throw them in the garbage can. Throw them
He's
straight in the garbage. Go do your thing. Go to work. Get your money and invest and grow.
he's young though, still. So he's got to go through that. He's got to go through that phase where that we all went through, where you know a lot of friends that you came up with, grammar school, high school, they start going their separate ways. He's going to go through that phase where a lot of the people that are his friends today won't be his friends 5 years down the line. For him to evolve, he's got to surround himself with people that are like-minded people like him. We all went through that. So yeah, you're right. But he'll go through that. You know what I'm saying? We all went through that. You know, so it's just a
Yeah.
learning curve. You know, he's only 23, but just having that conversation with him last night, his mind is all right. And another thing that I liked about talking to him is he listened. Because when I talked about the clickbait, and I said, man, I'm not trying to,
Yep.
you know, big bro you a OG. You say, no, man, he was open to it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, because, you know, you got a lot of younger people now, they don't want to take advice from older people, you know, wisdom. You know,
Yeah,
they think they know it all.
I
So
tried
I
to chime in.
appreciate that.
I tried to chime in last night. I was going to give him props. I like, you know, he did seem like he was going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Even he made another point, like how his family doesn't have a lot of knowledge and stuff, so he's trying to learn on his own. I give him a lot of props for that.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is hang around people that know things and learn the right way.
Yeah.
You didn't connect though. I can't remember. I think somebody called me and I didn't
Yeah,
call
you
back.
disappeared because Pippi asked, says you wanted to come up, but you weren't around no more. But yeah, I peeped when he said that. He said that too, and I empathize with him from that aspect, because when I was starting my businesses, especially the trucking business, I didn't have any entrepreneurs in my family, you know, so like I didn't have nobody to turn to. You know what I'm saying? No one was an entrepreneur, so I would be frustrated, right? Because there was so many ideas and I couldn't get them out, and technology wasn't advanced to the point where it is now in 2010, 2011. You know what I'm saying? There was no live stream back then. YouTube was a place where you just uploaded your family trip to Disney World, and YouTube would just store it for you, and then you can send Granny a link across the country to see what we did in Florida. You know what I'm saying? This is what YouTube was used for back then. You know what I'm saying? So now it has evolved. So like I didn't have those resources, so I understood what he was saying. That's why I kind of was receptive to him, and he listened. You know, I've tried to talk to other people, and they want to bite your head off. And I think he's gonna go far. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going. I enjoyed speaking with the young man last night. So you know, it is what it is. So I think he's gonna go far. I hope to hear from him again. You know, got his head on straight, but he's gonna go through that point where he's gonna, you know, like a lot of friends that I had at that age, I don't communicate with them no more because I was going this way. And guess what? Where I left them at 20 years ago, they still there. 20 years later. So it is what it is.
Same age as me. 50 still lives in mom's basement playing Call of Duty.
Right. So, you know, it is what it is. I can't, you know, I'm trying to steady get it. I need people around me that's getting it. You said what?
Last year he told me, the best part, that guy last year even told me how he got his CDL. I said, you got a CDL?
Mm-hmm.
And he was delivering for Giant Eagle. It's a grocery chain. He said, but they were working me too hard. I said, bro, you didn't even go over the road. You're worried about delivering groceries? I said, I didn't know what made you even think to go to CDL. Because I didn't talk to him, but he probably thought he was going to make all this big money. You get in these trucks and these vans, there's some work involved. I'm sitting here live streaming with you, drinking a coffee, staring at the Love's fuel truck and a yellow box truck. That's life, you know. A lot of guys can't handle it mentally out here either. You got to find something to fill your time.
Well, you ain't got a wife.
Time to get that load, get that load.
You ain't got a wife. You ain't got a wife.
You know those witches. Those sometimes, you know, I'm cool. Next one I got to get one from Philippines or Poland or something.
As soon as you get off the live, you're gonna be looking for a lizard.
I don't need. Listen, I know I mention those lizards sometimes. I don't ever see any lizards, man. I think the lizards are all online too. I don't see these lizards everyone's talking about.
There's lizards all online. Go on Instagram. There's lot lizards selling everything over there. So
in 4 years, all the trucks that I've been to, I said, where are these lizards, man?
Man, you see them lizards. You see them out there. You a OTR trucker. You can't tell me in all these years you've been driving over the road.
They hang out in the back. I'm always in the front, you know, with the civilians.
You done heard one of them knocks on your door? You ain't heard nobody knocking on your door? Yeah, you heard them knocking on your door.
Man, I don't know, man. The past 2-3 weeks have been crazy, and as the stories I heard today, I had guys call me and say, hey, what's going on? What's going on at the East Coast? What's going on at Dallas? What's going on at Houston? I said, what are you talking about, bro? It's like this everywhere. There's 50, 60 cents. I haven't seen that shit in a long time. And it didn't last this long. Believe me when I tell you, during COVID, I was busier.
Well,
during COVID, I was flying around like the world was mine, and it was the best. There was nobody on the road, just the truckers and the expediters. And they were paying.
Well,
but a lot of the company drivers got crushed. They couldn't hang.
And guess what? The company drivers are winning right now.
I agree with you a little bit on that one.
You got to agree with me on that. So, you know, the COVID, everybody was busy. They're busy, right? And eventually it's going to go that way, you know what I'm saying? Look what's going on out in California. You know, so, you know.
That's another thing I've seen in Cleveland. I got a ton of California drivers hanging around Cleveland. I got 3 truck stops within 50 miles of my house. I'm going to start there with the nails.
Actually, I think you could easily transition if you want to.
Transition?
Yeah.
You can't use that word nowadays. That means something else.
I think you got enough knowledge that you can make money in this industry still without having to do what you're doing.
It'd be be honest with you, I'm thinking about switching to brokerage. It might be time to become the bloodsucker.
But why would you switch to brokerage when brokerage is going to get replaced by artificial intelligence? Listen, Axel, don't be one of these old guys, right, that sits like on a board that's been making money for years and just naive to technology and just get wiped out. Don't be one of those board members that was on the board for Borders or Barnes and Nobles or Toys R Us and Montgomery Wards that just thought that they were just going to make money until they die, and this technology just came in and just pushed them out of the way. Don't be one of those guys, man. Please don't be one of those guys.
I got so much. If you see how much shit I have in the van alone in tech, a lot of 50-year-old guys. I just had my friend. He was here, but he went back in his truck. I got all this stuff in here. A lot of guys don't even know how to use the phones.
And see, that's the crazy part about you. You spend thousands. I've seen some of your setup. You spend thousands of dollars on your setup,
man. Yeah.
But when it comes to business, you're hung up on these brokers, man. These brokers are going to get replaced by artificial intelligence sooner than later, Axel. Trust me. Don't get hung up on that. To go switch over to brokerage just to get replaced, it just doesn't make sense to me.
But I think the agents, I think, will go away a little bit. But I think you'll still have the brokers. Because they'll still have to deal with the customers and put them into the system and make changes.
No, the shippers are going to input all that stuff into the system. You're going to have a shipper dashboard and a carrier dashboard. And it's just going to connect. The shipper is going to input the weight, the pallets, all that information, and the artificial intelligence is going to connect the shipper with the carrier. The broker is going to get the human aspect of the broker is going to get wiped out.
When you see those systems coming, let me know, because I'm going to sell everything, including my underwear. I'm going to invest, and I'm going fishing.
Look at it. Think of it like Uber, right? Think of it like Uber. Let's break it down like this. You got Uber. You got two different apps for Uber. You got the person who's requesting an Uber, and then you got the Uber driver. It's two different apps. The Uber driver is on the Uber driver app. The person who's requesting the Uber is just on the general Uber app. Two separate apps that are connecting. I'm requesting an Uber on the Uber app. It's connecting me with a driver who's on the driver app. It's two separate apps, but the artificial intelligence is communicating between the two apps, connecting a shipper, which let's say the person who needs a ride is a shipper. He's shipping himself from one place to the next with the carrier who's the driver. Same situation. I
don't think it'll be a good thing for drivers, though.
It's going to be a great thing for drivers because you're going to make more money.
I disagree on that part because I think they're going to control the pricing to a T. You're going to lose that human element and be able to negotiate.
You're going to lose that human element that's ripping you off, which is going to allow you to make more money.
If the shippers don't start doing what the brokers are doing.
Listen.
It might start off good, but as it goes on, the shippers might say, hey, put it for this, and they'll start knocking it down as much as they can. And the driver's going to help because the driver's going to be bidding lower and lower and lower. And the shipper's going to be like, damn, you remember in 2010, we were getting charged $1,500 for this load? Look, we're paying $500 now.
Axel, don't get left behind, bro. The broker is going to become the app. The app is going to be the broker at a very small percentage. Why? Because Convoy, Uber Freight, RXO, they're making volume. All right, they're connecting shippers with carriers consistently throughout the day environment that they can charge a fraction of the price of the brokerage would charge because they don't have human element doing it. The AI is doing all the work for them. Just continuously. So now that's opening up the carrier to make more money. And the brokerage, which is the digital load board, is just taking a small percent for connecting the shipper with the carrier. There is no human element that's ripping off the novice. It's like there. The AI doesn't have any emotions. It doesn't have a wife at home that wants a new Gucci bag because her birthday is coming up, or a wife with 2 kids, and okay, well, we got to go to Disney World this summer, so I got to rip a few carriers off. It's not going to exist anymore.
Listen, if it can just be normal for like the next 10 years, I'll be 60. I'll get my wheelchair, my fishing pole. I'll be happy. I don't even want to deal with this shit.
Man.
You're over 42. You got another 20 plus. I'm gonna try to finish at 60, man. I'll let you know where I'm fishing at. I actually got a nice little spot now. Nice big catfish. You like catfish?
Yeah, man.
Lemon. Screw this freaking freight, man.
Yeah, I believe is the walk. I think you're in denial, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I seriously believe you're in denial. Axel, you gotta let it go,
my
man.
family been in the restaurant this 50 years. I've had 2 restaurants. Last one I had, I couldn't take it no more. The employees are like, you got them 20, 19 years old, and they're doing drugs. Those little whatever vapor things, they got heroin in those vapor things.
Yeah,
it's crazy. When I was that young, we weren't doing this crazy shit.
Times have changed, Axel. Like you're going through what I went through. Listen, in 2021, I couldn't find people to work for the life of me. 2020, 2021, during the pandemic. Like I'm going crazy. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I don't understand because I'm used to just people always applying and things, and I had to really realize that the world was changing. I understood that eventually we were going to get to this point, right, where we're at now. What the pandemic did was just speed that process up. But I had to come to the realization that my glory days, the way I made money in this industry, at my height, at my peak, I probably would never see those days again. All right. Things have changed. Generations have changed. People don't look at work the same. People don't look at working for other people the same, especially an independent small business owner, right? You don't get treated like the big corporations, and they don't treat the corporations with respect anymore. So I had to come through to that realization because I didn't want to be one of these guys that was holding on and got left behind, because I've been in that position before with another business earlier in my 20s, all right, or halfway through later 20s, right, before I got into trucking. So I had to figure out something and move on and create a plan, all right. And I think you're at that point, and I'm being honest with you. I'm being like serious with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not joking. You know what I'm saying? I think you really need to come to grips with, this generational change and accepting what things are now and creating a plan, because it's probably just not for you anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not for you anymore. It's not going to get any better.
I'm the kind of guy too. I need a challenge.
I get it.
I got in this 4 years ago. I flipped homes. I have a realtor buddy. I started this up, figured out everything. He says, "You're the only guy I know that can look at something, learn it, and do it." I said, "It's not hard. I can read and write. I can watch and learn, and I started it. He misses me because we used to flip a lot of homes together because, I was a contractor too. I know plumbing, electrical, framing, everything, but
right. I
saw a point I was getting older too, and in that kind of field, if you don't got younger guys working, you ain't going to be able to do it forever. And I'm not trying to beat up my body forever.
Right.
But I don't know, maybe I just need another challenge,
I think if you hang around long enough to the point where the technology will replace, what you're upset about, I think you'll see the advantages of artificial intelligence in that space, but don't shut it out. I'm telling you, AI in that space will be a lot better than what you're going through now. But if you can't hang out there, you're going to be frustrated like you are now, then guess what? You're going to be frustrated every single day because it's never going to go back to the way it was. People are going to start taking cheaper freight. You know?
I'm not saying go back the way it is, but I'm saying we can at least clean it up a little bit.
How?
We gotta like expose some of this dirt that's going on.
And then guess what?
You know, like the dispatchers that don't have no authority and they're moving 10, 20, 26-foot trucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me to put a 26-foot truck on my authority, I got to carry all the responsibility for that truck for whatever it does.
Mm-hmm.
I got to have the logs. If they audit me, I got to have the logs for that truck. These dispatchers, they got clean hands. Mm-hmm. And I try to explain it too, because you use these dispatchers, if something happens, a lot of them don't even have business insurance. They just close down shop.
Yep.
I understand the AI can come,
right?
But you got driver, carrier, broker. We need to keep it in line. For right now, we need to keep it in line. We need to get rid of all the dirt.
Okay.
There's a lot of dirt, and it's gone rampant the past 2 years.
So what I'm saying is the AI is going to replace the middleman, the dirt. The AI is going to become the digital broker. The AI doesn't have emotion. The AI is not going to rip you off. It's a code.
Well, if it happens like that, then it'll be a good thing.
AI is going to connect shipper with carrier. The AI is going to become the broker. The AI isn't going to have to take the kids to Disney World. So I got to go rip off every single kid who is new to trucking so that I can take my family to Disney World. It's not going to happen like that. Shipper inputs information, 2 pallets. Each pallet weighs this much. I need it to go from here to there. They're going to input all their information on this app. Carrier is going to see these loads on this app. It's going to connect them at a fraction of the price, which means more money to the carrier. You know, and it's going to probably have other technology too, where if you're in a certain areas, it's a geofencing. Boom, you get an alert. Man, there's this load in this area. If you're empty and you're available, man, you can accept load. The technology is going to make it a lot more efficient for the shipper and the carrier will be able to make a lot more money. So I think. But on
the same note, though, even if you have the AI and the carrier is getting the load, he's still gonna have to know his price.
So,
because let's say the AI is in place, and all of a sudden he's bidding 50 cents on the load.
So the AI is gonna offer a price, right? And the person can either accept it or deny it. The same way you see on your digital load boards now. Or you can counter it. You counter it, the AI is gonna offer another offering. Now the AI already knows what the stopping point, all right, that they can, accept the carrier's bid for this load at, right? They know, all right? But ultimately, you're probably not going to see a lot of that because you don't got a bloodsucker that's sucking the life out of the load already, all right? You're making more money on the carrier aspect already because the digital load board company, whether it be Convoy, Uber Freight, RXO, let's say CH Robinson, when they release their digital load board, they're taking a fraction, right, of the cost now because they've eliminated so much overhead as far as base pay to all these bloodsuckers.
All right, but let's think of this. Let's say the AI is in place right now.
It is in place right now. It's in place now.
More advanced though, and let's say it's a shitty time like right now.
Okay.
And you got a lane that's running, and these carriers are all bidding and knocking down the price, and the AI is self-learning and starts to say to itself, we know on this lane we can move this load for 60 cents. You don't see that happening?
I don't think the AI that you're talking, that AI doesn't that type of learning AI you're talking about, that's more like what we're talking about earlier with ChatGPT. It's not that type of AI. It's advanced, but it's not advanced to that point. This is like coding as far as pricing is concerned. You got a load, you got a shipper. You got a carrier. It's going to connect. It knows its stopping point, how high it can pay to have this load shipped, and it's not going to go any thing above that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think initially, because there is no human broker there, the rates start, the bidding, the rates start, the offering start a lot higher than they would be if there was a human middleman there sucking the life out of the load to begin with.
But you don't think it could get like that?
Like what?
Self-learning, and then start keeping the prices down.
You thinking it's going to get to self-learning to start ripping people off, and I don't think that. You really got to look at it like
No,
Uber.
no. But it's not really ripping anyone off, because if the carrier is bidding that low, you're doing it to the system.
So basically what you're saying is a person can bid. Well, they're offering. It's not a bidding thing. It's offering. Here's a load. We're offering you to take this load for $1,000. Accept, deny, or counter. So you're going through loads. There's loads on here. If you're a carrier, you're going through. You look for.
Yeah, if it works like that. But if it works where they post the price, but they leave it open to take bids where they
No, it's not set up like that. It's not set up like that. It's not set up like that.
Well, let's hope not. Because I think if they leave it open like that, then the same thing's going to happen.
It's not. You already have platforms out there that you can go look at. You can go sign up with. It's not like that. What's another one? Flock Freight. You can go look. Just sign up for some of them. And look, it's not like that.
I've seen them. I got them all on my Stream Deck. I can tap them and they come up in 2 seconds. I watch and I check them all.
Who are you using?
But I only stick with Selectus and DAT.
Selectus isn't. It's not a digital load board.
Yeah, but those boards don't really have our freight. At least not at this time. They're mostly for the bigger trucks. I'm not running bigger trucks.
Well, I think over time, eventually, they'll AI will be, over there as well. It may not be no more Selectus in a couple years if they don't convert over.
Yeah.
But I think you just need to just do some woosah and some thinking, man. And it's gonna be okay, man. It's gonna be okay, man.
Yeah,
you're still making money. You're still making money, right?
I'll be honest with you, not like before. Before it was easy, man. Now it's I don't know. I gotta shoot somebody to get a load.
So here's the thing. It's never gonna be like before. That's the whole purpose of me doing this live tonight, talking about early adopters. Getting into things early, because guess what? When you get in early, you can suck the life out of it. Because guess what? Eventually that's gonna change. Everything goes through their cycles. But when you get in things early, you're going to make the most money out of it. You've already seen your glory days in Expedite. You're not going to see those glory days. I've seen my glory days in moving. I've seen my glory days in Final Mount. I will never see that no more. Why? I will never see my glory days with moving anymore. Why? You got so many apps now. We got the country is getting overran by illegal immigrants that are going on these apps, buying trucks, and they're doing rogue moves for $50 and $60 an hour. I can't beat that. All right? I can't beat it. All right? I can't. I can't beat it. I got unemployment tax. I got to pay payroll, all this stuff. I can't charge that low. All right? Final Mount, a company will never give me a guarantee like they gave me guarantees before. I can't lean on them like I used to. It was the Wild Wild West back then. I will never see those days again. Third thing, people don't want to work. I can't continue to run a business with integrity if I don't know if people are going to come to work. All right? My companies have always been companies that have been run with integrity. I can't go to sleep at night not knowing if this person or that person is going to show up. All right? So I understand that things have changed. I had to come to this understanding. I had to do my little woosah. And it took some time. You dig what I'm saying? It took some time, but it is what it is, and I think that's what you're going through now. That's why I'm spending this time with you to get you to understand this. But there's plenty of things that you can invest in now and be an early adopter, so that you can get in early, get the money out of it. When it goes through that cycle, that what you're going through now, what I went through last year, you already done got what you got up out of it. You just seen your best days. It's just not gonna never be back like that no more, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's gonna be good like that. I'm just saying right now we just need to like. All I'm asking is people to learn and not take the freaking loads for less than what it costs you to operate your stuff. That's it. Simple. You got to come to a realization like, listen, if I take this load for this much, I make nothing. Not even, I'm taking from my pocket. They think because they're getting a load and they deposit in their bank account, they made money. But no, when the stuff comes out, you took some money from your pocket too. That's all I'm asking.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is, this is what I'm gonna do for you, and then I'm done with it. I'm gonna try to email Mr. Beast. I'm gonna say, Mr. Beast, you got 120 million followers. I need you to do a video because you got everybody's attention. This guy Axel, he says, I need you to make a video telling everybody that runs Expedited to stop taking cheap freight. All right, that's what I'm gonna do for you tomorrow. I'm gonna email Mr. Beast. Hopefully he reads it, he responds to it. He'll do a video to 120 million people because, man, I just don't think your message is going to get to everybody it needs to get to. You need to get on a platform where someone can just reach the masses, man. And
listen, I think we're referring it to wrong. Though everyone says cheap freight. That's not cheap freight. That's negative freight.
I get what you're saying.
Make $1 on that load.
Mm-hmm.
That's negative freight.
I get it.
Cheap is when you take it and you still can make a few pennies. But this, and I'm talking about the vans. What they're moving the vans for, they're not making any money. Zero. You cannot make a load of money on a 50 cent a mile load.
So why are they doing it then, Axel? Why are they doing it? In conclusion, why are they doing it?
Because a lot of these guys are desperate to pay bills, so they're making that imaginary cash flow. And they're just trying to grab money, pay, grab money, pay, grab money, pay. But they're running up credit cards and all this other crazy stuff.
So let me ask you this. Are they making money or it's costing them to run?
It's costing them to run. Trust me on that.
So how are they paying, if they're operating at a loss, how are they paying bills?
Because a lot of them are running like dogs for 50 cents. You got guys in vans here doing 5,000, 6,000 miles a week for 50 cents a mile.
Okay, so give me a scenario.
They're killing themselves.
Okay.
Killing their equipment.
I don't know.
Killing themselves, killing their equipment. Everyone needs to take a look at some of these drivers, man. Some of them are in their 30s, and they got ankles like the size of my head.
Hey, man, because they eating all that sodium out there on the road.
Huh?
That's because they eating bad out there on the road. They got that, what's that when your legs get real big, your ankles? What's that, the sodium or whatever? Gout or whatever it is?
Yeah, but it's also sitting in the seat. When you sit in that seat for long periods of time, it's the worst thing.
Hey, man, that's on them. I wouldn't worry about them if I were you, Axel. I would just do what I do and start creating a exit strategy.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to say you gotta. I don't know if it's to try to help them, but to give them a little bit of knowledge whether they want to take it or not. You want to kill yourself for 50 cents a mile, and maybe if you're lucky you live to 40, that's on you. But I'm just telling you, kill yourself. You want to kill yourself for 50 cents a mile? Go ahead. I won't do it. I'll sit. I don't care. I'll stare at the birds and the trees, jump on here with you, but you're not getting me to do it. And if it stays and continues to go like this year after year after year, I'm going to pack my bags. I'm going to go visit Mr. Beast and ask him if I can be an extra on his show.
All right. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man.
You can't work in life to just spin wheels. I don't want to just spin wheels.
Well, at least you finally.
I'm trying to make a little.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just trying to make a little extra money for my little fishing cabin. Just trying to make a little extra money, you know.
I think you already got
extra
the money
nowadays.
I think you got the money. I think right now you're just being greedy.
No, I wish I was being greedy.
I think you
If
got the
the
money.
stock market crashes, I would be happy to be honest with you.
Oh, I
I
want the
remember
stock.
that
I
day when
want
it
the stock
crashed.
market to crash so I could buy. I can buy even
Man,
lower. I want it to
I
crash
gotta,
right now.
I gotta tell you a story, Mark. I should right now, today, be living on an island with 5 bikini mamas. No lie, I swear on everything in my life, okay?
You told me this
Back in
story
that
already
time, did I tell you when the stock market crashed and I was waiting on a check for
about the penny,
200,000?
the penny stocks you bought.
No. This one wasn't penny stock, but 200,000 check. I need my check. I need my check. I need my check. I can't remember. It was 08 or 09 when it crashed. It was either Citibank or City something. I can't remember exactly. It was one of those two.
Uh huh.
I was gonna pump the whole thing in there.
Mhm.
If I would have did it and pumped it in there, got it on time because I didn't get it on time, I would have had $21.5 million from 200,000. No
You
joke,
was gonna put
no lie.
200. You was gonna put 21. You was gonna put 200 grand into Citibank or Citadel.
It was Citibank or Citigroup, one of those two.
Citigroup.
I can't
Okay.
remember. I'd have to go back and look. And no lie, because I had my friend sitting there with me. When I got the check,
Uh
I
huh.
opened up my laptop. It was Sirius Satellite. You remember? You ever watch Sirius Satellite?
Serious.
Sirius Satellite.
Okay.
Go see what the stock is right now.
Talking about
Look
XM
real quick.
series. You talking about XM
Yep.
series, right?
Yep, Sirius Satellite. Yep.
All
See
right.
how much
Hold
it
on.
is a share.
Let's see. Let's see.
And this goes to anybody. If the stock market ever crashes, you want to have money on the side.
$5.20. That's
In
when it closed
08,
at.
09, when it crashed, it was 5 cents. I opened my laptop. I had the 200K in my Ameritrade. No
Mhm.
joke. I can pull it up one day and show you. I pumped all of it in the Sirius Satellite at 5 cents.
Okay.
And my friend I thought was going to have a heart attack. And we sat there and watched it for 1 hour. And an hour later, I pulled it out to make $2,000. He said, "What kind of sick person are you?" I said, "It was my first day in the stock market. I wanted to make a profit." He says, "You are one sick person." But if I would have left it in there, do the math. Take 200,000 divided by a nickel, and then times it by at least $5 what it is today.
That's fine and it sounds good, but that was a bad play.
I know it was a bad play. I agree 100%.
You
The
know.
point of the matter is, in 08, 09, when the stock market crashed,
Hmm.
Ford was like $1.60. A lot of the bank stocks were around $2.
Hmm.
I mean, everything was at the bottom. Will we ever see that again? I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, we will.
But I hope so. But even if somebody's got 20, 50,000 on the side and you're patient, that's where you want to put it. Don't put it in something junky. And I would try to split it with 3 big companies because sometimes, like they did GM, they changed the symbol.
Uh huh.
They put it bankrupt or something, so you would have lost in that one.
Right.
But in 08, 09, when that thing crashed, there was a lot of millionaires born. But you got to have the money on the side to play this game.
Right.
And that's how the rich get rich.
But that's what I'm saying. In 2020, when the pandemic hit, the stock market and the crypto market crashed. It didn't drop as low as it did in 08.
Yeah, I know. I
But
thought it was, man. I
it
was
dropped.
praying.
It dropped. You know, and a lot of people got rich then. I made a lot of money in 2020, and I rolled all that money over into crypto. I made a lot of money in 2020. All right, so you know we're gonna see that again. Every so many years, a tragic event is gonna happen, and people are just gonna start sucking their money, and it's gonna crash. We're gonna see a bottom, and that's the best time to buy. We're in a bear market now. Now is a good time to buy. I don't think we've seen the bottom yet. Now.
I think they have no choice. That's what they got to do. Even when the housing market crashed, I was picking up houses cheap. They let everything climb, and then when it can't climb no more, they start sucking everybody's money. Then they crash it. But they make sure they're in the bottom, to start from the bottom. But the people that are poor or maybe lower middle class, they have no money left.
Listen,
They do it on purpose.
That's how the rich get richer. The rich get richer. Yeah. The rich don't buy at market rate. The rich buy things on sale. Right now, there's a huge sale going on. This is when the rich people buy because they buy in bulk. They don't buy at market rate. All right.
But
So
that's not
yes,
how the rates work in trucking. We don't want to buy low in trucking. We want to buy high, guys. Buy high. It's not a stock.
It depends on what you're talking about. The stock you want to buy low.
Yeah, I'm talking about the rates for the loads. Don't buy the 50-cent loads.
Well.
But yeah, I missed that time, you know.
Good luck trying to sell that.
Damn island.
Yeah, you'll get that chance again. I'm telling you to play now, but you're like one of those old guys sitting on one of these board of directors with just like gray and silver hair that's just refusing to accept reality, man, of what's about to come.
Well,
so I want you to win, man. I want you to get some of this money, man. Don't worry about them 50-cent people that's chasing 50-cent lows, man. Just get your money and do what you've been doing. And then figure something out, a way to transition up out of the state. Because if you complaining now, then I don't know what you're going to be doing next year. You're going to be pulling your hair out.
Yeah, I thought I was stop losing my hair. It's starting to fall out again.
Well, because you running around here and you upset with things that you can't control. You're not gonna be able to control that, man, and it's not gonna get any better.
I'm not upset. This is my normal temperament. I'm cool.
And here's the thing: you're in expedite. You're in a van, so it's easier for people to get in, and it's easier for people to maintain and sustain because their costs. So with the box truck side, a person doing that goofball stuff on this side, man, their expenses are high. They're not gonna be able to survive. Their lifespan of doing goofy stuff on the box truck side is a lot faster. But on the van side, man, they can hang in there for a while doing that goofball stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta, right. So you gotta, man, you can't be worried about that, man. You either need to deal with it or figure out a way to transition up out of it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't, be wrecking your brain because it's a van, man. Like, man, as long as they got enough gas money to go do the goofball thing the next day or 2 days later, whenever they get the next load, then they straight. They're going to keep doing it and keep recycling that same little money. That's all they doing.
Well, it trickles up to the box trucks, but yeah, the box trucks, they learn real quick.
You said the box trucks what?
Yeah, they can't hang like that doing that crazy stuff. They collapse quick.
Yeah, the box trucks, they can't hang like that. And that's why I'm trying to teach people in the box truck side that are making money, ways to invest the money that they have coming in into other things in trucking. You know what I'm saying? To create multiple streams of revenue that are still in trucking. You know what I'm saying? I don't promote anybody sitting behind the wheel and driving cross country and creating a long-term 25, 30-year plan on trucking. Nah, man. No. Think smart. Get what you get out of it.
For example, when I'm home by Cleveland, if there's a local load, I don't care if it's 50 miles. I will take that load for $50 for lunch. Anyone who's coming to Cleveland with the van, be ready. Those short loads, they're going to be cheap. I'm going to run it, buy lunch, and come back home. I can play.
Okay.
I'm just letting them know. All those California guys hanging out in my hood.
Hey, man, Axel, you too old to be working so hard, man.
I'm really not working hard,
I'm not running $50. Man, I'll send you $50, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on for lunch money, man.
I'm gonna do it for a video.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do it for a video. I'm going to say, look at this load, guys. I got 50 miles for $50. Minus the $20 for gas and $30. I can buy a pack of cigarettes and get myself a Happy Meal. And see how they like it. And I want to hear all the hate. I'm going to say, hey, it's life.
But why, though? Why? Why waste your time?
Rile them all up.
Why?
Nah, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to have lunch.
It's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of
Maybe I'll
time.
do it for 60 so I can go to Roadhouse.
I think it's a waste of time, man. I think I think just talking to you the past couple months, you got a lot of value that you can put out in a more positive way. And a lot of people can really learn positive things. I don't think you should waste your time trolling people. You know, I think you should utilize, your wisdom in this space and put out good value, and maybe you'll make a difference as far as what you're complaining about. I don't think you should make fun of the people. You know what I'm saying? That's just gonna make the situation worse.
I'm not gonna complain. It's all gonna be for content. You told me I gotta move with technology. I'm gonna start building the channels. 50-cent loads. I might even do BOGO, buy one get one. I'm gonna tell the broker, give me one local, get another one for free. Because they
I don't
all
know.
have how to start your cargo van business, how to start your box truck business, how to do this, how to do this. I'm gonna say BOGO special in cargo van business. Hot 50-cent load, real big. Make the clip art nice. I think I'll get
Yeah.
some views.
Hey man, you need to get home, man. You need to get home, man.
I need to get home.
Yeah, you gotta get home, bro. Yeah.
I've
I
only been out
can't.
one day, man.
I've been your therapist for an hour now, man. I gotta get back to it.
Yeah, they got
I
any
gotta get back
questions?
to it.
You got a lot of chat there. Zip Truck's been
Yeah, man. They
texting away
saying
up there.
this is his Wusan. You both are doing a great job. Yeah, you Wusan. I've been your therapist trying to talk you off the ledge, but I think you getting it, but you still not getting it all the way. We may need another 2 or 3 sessions. So I don't know, man. I think you just need to focus on you, and you'll be all right, man. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back to talking about these stocks and stuff, and
All right. Fair enough. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
get out
talk
of
to you
here.
Sunday.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, later.
All right. I'll talk to you.
All right, later. That
Bye
was
bye.
Mr. Axel checking in like always. Make sure you guys go follow him on his channel, Axel Live. Um, Always good conversations with Axel. He's always welcome to the channel. He brings a lot of knowledge in the space, and I enjoy talking with him. It is what it is. I just think he. I know he's still watching. I think he's stuck. He's kind of stuck in that in between where he's just kind of caught in that generational gap, and he's just gotta understand that it is what it is, man. And those glory days, man, them glory days over with. Them glory days over with. This is Wooside. You both are doing a great job. LB exclusive at the same time. Chris Adams says Mark the therapist. Yeah, man, I've been trying to talk Axel off the ledge about the past hour, but I think he gets it. So Chuck, the market is on sale. I definitely agree. And we are definitely not at the bottom. I definitely agree. Yet we have at least one more big dip before we bounce to the upside. This week was a good week, though. Yeah, this week was definitely a good week. A lot of green this week. But yeah, I think the bottom is near, and I can't wait. Because I'm gonna be buying. I'm gonna be buying. I'm gonna be buying, and I'm gonna be getting ready for this next bull run and making some money. Heavily invested into autonomy and heavily invested into AI. Like I said, I'm invested in the Fetch AI on the crypto side. A lot of Gala. Investing into a lot of autonomy, Kodiak, Tesla. A lot of AI not AI, autonomous companies on the stock side. So I'm setting my asset portfolio up for this next bull cycle. I'm investing into Google a lot. I never really was a big Google fan as far as assets, but I'm investing into them now because I like what they're doing with Waymo. Um, I like Aurora. So I'm diversified, so I feel real good. I'm gonna jump back in heavy on electric. I was a heavy investor as far as investing into Blink, Charge Point. I'm gonna re-enter into EV charging. The reason why I'm gonna re-enter back into EV charging because the networks aren't that big in certain markets. I know, like if you go out to like San Francisco, like Silicon Valley, you go out there, their networks are pretty big. But like here in Chicago, if you got an electric vehicle, like the network of charging station is not that advanced yet. So there's plenty of room for growth. So I'm going to re-enter into electric vehicle charging, and I'm also re-enter back into electric vehicles heavy. So let's see. Um, I'm heavily invested. I'm heavy in Lucid and Tesla and EV charging. Are you in Lucid? I was in Lucid in 2020. I exit my position in 2020 at that peak of $60 before that SPAC merger. When it was CCIV, I bought in at $18. I got out at 60. I had 1,000 shares, so I made some decent money there. I'm not holding any oil stocks at the moment. When I first started trading, I used to be big on the oil, but oil is like a slow mover, and I like to. It's just too slow for me, so I exited out all my oil uh, holdings years ago, like 2019. I don't hold anything in oil right now. I exited out at 60 because I had created at 14 and then re-entered after taking out my initial cost and supply. Okay, so we exited at the same cost. I'll never forget it. It was a Friday because they was promoting that SPAC merger was going to be announced that Monday. I'll never forget it. I just said, nah, I ain't waiting for Monday. I've been through this before. Everybody hoping it's going to go to 100. I'm just going to get out now. If it goes, fine. But if not, I just going to take my money now. Sure enough, and announced it. It started going down. So, yep. I learned that from because I took so many L's with uh 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 damn, what's the name of that company that was supposed to get the United States Postal Service contract? Ah, what's the name of that company? Everybody thought they were gonna get the post office contract, and they didn't. What was the name of that company? I forget the name of that company, but man, I got screwed on that company so bad. I bought in at that for like $3. It got up to like $38. I didn't sell, held on to it. It dropped back down, went back up. I'm hoping and praying and just waiting for it to get this United States Postal Service contract. Never got it. I lost. Well, I didn't lose. I made money, but I didn't sell at the top. No, not right. Man, what's the name of that company, man? It's on the tip of my tongue. What's the name of that company? Hold on, let me look at my past EV portfolio. Hold on. What is it? Workhorse. 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 It was Workhorse. Yeah, I'm never gonna wait for a SPAC merger again. I'm just gonna sell. It was Workhorse. Yup. Workhorse. Yep. It was Workhorse. So, yep. Uh, Oxy is a good hold right now. All right, so yeah, guys, I just wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys about AI and autonomy, as far as maybe invest into that now while it's still early, and just dollar cost averaging. I think the prices are going to go down on a lot of these stocks now, but it's still very low in comparison to what I think these actual assets will do in a couple of years. So just wanted to give you guys some sauce. I ain't finna hold y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate everybody for coming in on this pop up, and I will see you guys Sunday. If it ain't no questions, I'm gonna get up out of here. What's up, Chuck? Thank you for checking in. It's DeWalt, Chris, the Moon, Axel, Aaron, and everybody else that came in. I'm out.